Hi, Gary here. Perfection. You know, when you were a kid, you wanted to get 100% on all your tests. I mean, that's how we were taught. Get a perfect score, get to the perfect school, get the perfect life, and so forth. And we've really been about that. And what comes out of that many times is procrastination. Because to get something perfectly done, we have got to spend a lot of time thinking about it, working on it, researching it, and so forth. And many times you put off this thing, especially if it's difficult, for a long period of time. Procrastination. Versus the other side of the coin is if we want to have progress, then we have to embrace failure. Maybe you weren't expecting that, but yes, failure. Because when failure takes place, we know from lots of studies, a lot of learning takes place and change takes place. You can move further along. Great example of this is, watching any toddler at a year old learn how to walk. It's just amazing. If we fell down as many times as they did in a day, our entire body would be ruined with broken bones and bruises and so forth. But it's the way they learn, and hopefully, luckily, they're close to the ground, to learn how to walk. A very, very difficult physical thing to do as a bipedal. It's just extremely difficult. But for adults, what is it? It's usually about the head. It's about mental. That's where we really have the falling down, the mental bruises and broken parts that take place. And it's, anguish and anxiety and fear and trepidation, especially when we're going through the transitions. So for example, somebody who has a major health issue, they might be in denial. We see it all the time. It's not happening to me. I'm not going to go to the doctor. Or the doctor gives them a diagnosis and they just ignore it because this can't be happening. You have somebody has a close family member die and you see them go into isolation. I mean, they isolate themselves from the world. It's a horrible situation to be in. Yeah, we see pre-retirees just totally ignoring the fact that they're going to be retiring 2 years from now, a year from now, 6 months from now, and so forth. And this is the absolute opposite of what should be taking place. What should be taking place is they should be more engaged. Why? They need a higher energy level. They need to be more proactive. They really need to have a better attitude than normal. I mean, they need a lot of this stuff. And the key to this is failure, because we have to fall down to then figure out how to pick ourselves back up. Easy way to do this is to get people around you involved right away. And it usually starts with close family members and friends and people who have already experienced this thing you're going through. I have this one example in my own life. More than 15 years ago, I got diagnosed with a heart issue. It's not something that's going to shorten my life necessarily, but it's a pretty critical thing that really is very bothersome when you first find out about it. It's a real pain in the butt. And it's not a week goes by, somebody doesn't refer somebody to me, because I've been through so many different procedures on this thing to help them understand it's not that big of a deal as they think it is. And it's interesting to watch folks and just watch the real fear kind of melt away when I walk them through my own experiences and help them through this particular issue that is very disturbing because it's about our heart. We get very concerned about those kinds of things. So when we do get others involved with us, what happens is we embrace failure and learning starts to take place at a quicker pace. That's why you get more progress more quickly. So, you have a choice here. You can go through this thing painfully, slowly, or go through it more quickly with progress and get to the other side faster with, a better experience throughout the whole period. Now, I remember this old phrase, that I heard many years ago, and I know it makes sense, and we all do this, is many people make light tasks. So when you look at this from a professional standpoint, when you look at folks in our industry, many times these things, pre-retirement and death and all these other transitions require legal and accounting and tax and financial and investment and estate counsel. And so you want to get that team put together right away, along with your personal family and friends, to help you make this change and progress along, into the future. But it really comes about making this mental click of, I'm going to embrace the failure so I can move this thing along a lot quicker. I keep trying to learn that myself as I go through my own transitions, and see that in our firm as we go through transitions. And hopefully, if you're going through any of these things, which are very, very difficult in life, you'll keep that in mind. So until next time, enjoy.